What's up, guys? This video is all about breakthroughs and what I believe it takes to get your next significant breakthrough in your life. And this applies whether you're going from 1 million to 10 million a year, or 10 million a year to 100 million a year, or you're trying to change something as it relates to your diet, your health, your physical fitness, your romantic life, your social life, the network that you have. Breakthroughs are fundamental moments of change. They're these little gaps that you find in life where things rapidly shift. You don't experience them very often, but if you understand how to induce a breakthrough, you can experience them far more often than the average individual, and you can also get the results, the outcomes that you're seeking far more rapidly. So what I believe a breakthrough consists of is a couple of fundamental things. Number one, a breakthrough consists of an acknowledgement of where you're at right now and a dissatisfaction with it, right? Or maybe just acknowledging that you're not living up to your potential. You're where you're at right now, you're doing $1 million a year, which is good. You're doing 10 million a year, which is great. You're doing 100 million a year, which is fantastic. You're at a certain income level, but you're realizing that to some degree, you're not living up to your potential. You're not maximizing your capability. You're not maximizing your efficiency. You're not maximizing the scale of your operations. To some degree, you're not living up to your potential, and that should make you upset. Something that you can consciously acknowledge and not be pleased with. Once you have this understanding and you realize that something needs to change, the other component of the breakthrough is that you have a moment of inspiration, where you think about what will it look like when I'm able to achieve this breakthrough? What does it look like on the other side? When I'm able to reach that next income level, or where I'm able to make that next significant jump in my health, what will life feel like? How will my body operate? How will my mind operate, right? And breakthroughs can also come in the form of mental breakthroughs, spiritual breakthroughs, right? Where you're like, when I'm able to elevate to a higher spiritual plane, to a higher mental plane, how much more pure will my life be? How much more present will I be in my day-to-day moment experience, right? So breakthroughs happen in all forms, but it's that inspiration. And the inspiration is like, it's like an allure. It's this gift, it's this treasure that you're working towards. So that inspiration serves as the pull, something that's motivating you. And then where you're coming from right now serves as something that you're trying to get away from, right? Those are the two aspects of it. You're trying to get away from something and you're trying to get towards something. Therein lies the breakthrough, therein lies the rapid moment of change. Then I think the next core component of a breakthrough is that when you're on your path to having this breakthrough, and when that shift is beginning to happen, when it really clicks in is when you become more associated with the new paradigm beyond the breakthrough than you are associated with where you're at right now. So let's say you're doing $1 million a year. Okay, you're doing $1 million a year, and then you visualize in your mind, you think about, you get the feeling, the mentality of what it would feel like to make 10 million a year. How would it change your circumstances? How would you be operating? How would you be running your business? How would you be, what kind of amazing team would you have at that level? What kind of amazing business partnerships would you have at that level? And you start associating mentally, emotionally, maybe even physically. Maybe you change physically when you're operating at that level. Your mind is more clear-headed, your posture is more upright, the way that you walk is more languorous, if that's the right word, but you're just more at ease maybe, right? So you work in every facet to associate yourself with this greater paradigm. And then as you keep associating with this greater paradigm, eventually you'll reach a tipping point. You will reach a tipping point where you're more associated with the next paradigm than you are associated with the current paradigm. And when you're more associated with the next paradigm, change just happens like that. Change might happen in 1 or 2 weeks, your income can skyrocket. 1 or 2 weeks, your health can change enormously. 1 or 2 weeks, your relationships, your social dynamics, your dating life, your business connections, everything can change just like that because something shifts in your mind. And when that thing shifts in your mind, suddenly you start taking a different set of actions. Suddenly you show up in the world in a different way. Suddenly you engage with problems in a unique way in which you didn't have access to before. You didn't have access to this unique perspective. Suddenly you start identifying opportunities that were sitting right in front of you, opportunities that were sitting latent right in front of you, and you're able to awaken those opportunities because you're now in the right mental frame. You're now operating at that higher level paradigm, right? And to kind of get technical on you guys for a second, there's this function in the brain called the reticular activation system. The reticular activation system, or the R.A.S., what it does is that it identifies opportunities. The RAS will only be able to identify opportunities that you're mentally and emotionally associated with, right? So if you're mentally and emotionally associated with $1 million a year opportunities, those are the kind of opportunities that you will have access to, that your RAS will give you access to. You'll see those opportunities abundantly. You'll see those opportunities, very clearly. When you're able to elevate to that higher paradigm and you start associating with paradigm 2, let's call it, that operates on a higher plane, suddenly your RAS will start identifying opportunities, start identifying market gaps, or start identifying clever methods to make what you want happen because you're associated with the higher paradigm. You're mentally there. You're emotionally there. Because you're mentally there, because you're emotionally there, your life will just happen, and therein lies the breakthrough. So I hope this made sense, guys. If you have any questions, any comments, drop it down below. I would love to address it in a future video. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys soon.